What's up YouTube, OpTic is here bringing you another new series. Today we are going to be doing episode 1 of the series called Gears of War for Beginners. Now, yes, that's a little bit of a play on words, I understand. Idea came from my Twitch chat one day, so credit to whoever said that in chat or suggested it. But I like it and we're going to use it and we're going to do it. So this series, for those of you who are wondering, is going to help you guys understand Gears of War 4, and just get a concept of the game. This is going to be good for both spectators and for players who want to get better at the game, who are new to the series or new to the franchise, or just people who are going to be watching the streams and supporting the team as we compete. So if that meets you, if that description describes you, the viewer, then this is the perfect video for you, and you need to stay tuned and learn a few things. So first up, we're going to talk about these species or the characters or the races, whatever you want to call them, in Gears of War 4. There are the classic COG or human characters. COG stands for Coalition of Gears. It goes back to the storyline, so if you haven't played the campaign, that's where that name comes from. But they are the human characters, or the blue team in Gears of War 4 and other Gears of War games as well. The other side of this war is fought by the Swarm, who are replacing the Locust in Gears of War 4. They are the new enemies. I haven't played the campaign. I don't quite know what the story is behind them, but they are the red team and they are the bad guys in the campaign. There are also the DBs, which are robots basically, and you will see them played in competitive play possibly. Little fun fact for those of you who are playing, DBs make a lot of noise and you're very easy to be heard around the map. So if you're trying to be stealthy, maybe a DB character is not for you, but they are pretty cool. They do say a lot of funny stuff. I like the characters, I just don't have any, otherwise I'd be using them. So those are your 3 types of people that or types of characters that you will see in Gears of War 4. Alright, so here we are at the loading screen for a Gears of War 4 multiplayer match. I'm actually in just a custom match with bots, and we are going to talk about the 4 starting weapons in Gears of War 4. So whenever you spawn in, you're going to have 4 starting guns, which you can see on my screen right here. And all I'm doing is moving my thumb around the D-pad on the controller so that you guys can actually see what these weapons are. So you're always going to start with the Lancer by default. Now you can, in some matches and social, I believe, start with a hammer burst in custom games, but in competitive it's not allowed. So Lancer is going to be your typical machine gun kind of gun. It's going to be a long range weapon that you're going to want to use to help support your teammates, and it's actually a pretty strong gun. It does have stopping power, as all weapons do in Gears of War 4. What stopping power means is that when you shoot someone as they're running to you, they're going to slow down. So the Lancer is going to be your long-range weapon. Hopefully that bot doesn't see me. And it also is the infamous chainsaw gun. So that's the gun that you can walk up to somebody and chainsaw. I don't think they're going to let me do it. Yeah, I'm just going to get meleeed down. Bots are pretty savage in this game. But here, I'll chainsaw him right now. So you walk up to someone holding B, chainsaw him right in half. Really satisfying, kind of what gave Gears of War its notoriety in the gaming world. So your next weapon is going to be your secondary weapon, which is your shotgun, the Nasher shotgun. This gun is good for close range combat. After a certain amount of distance, probably to about there, maybe a little bit closer, the damage starts to fall off pretty dramatically. So you're not going to be doing as much damage as you think when you're shooting from that far away. The shotgun shoots a spread like that, so you can see that there's a lot of pellets in the spread. That's why it's close up. It's going to do a lot of damage when all those pellets hit, and when you're far away, they spread out some. So the further it travels, the more they kind of spread out in this almost like stick figure-esque shape. All right, so your next starting weapon is your pistol, your snub pistol. This is kind of good for a medium to long range weapon, but it's not quite as strong as in previous Gears of War games. But it's a pretty good gun. It holds about 12 bullets, I believe. And, you know, it's good for, like, when you're in the middle of a fight or something and you're moving and you're shotgunning and you kind of run out of ammo, but you need to get those last couple bullets in to down somebody. That's a good time to pull out the pistol. It's pretty accurate even at a long range, as long as you know, it has a little bit of recoil to it. So as you can see, if I zoom in and I'm aiming at that headlight right there on that truck, it's gonna recoil up all the way to almost all the way up the windshield if I just let it go. So you kind of have to, it's almost like CSGO where you kind of have to pull down as you're shooting. But you know, it's still pretty accurate. The Lancer has a recoil as well. It's a little bit more dramatic. But once you kind of get used to the feel of the gun, you can kind of hold yourself steady in one spot like that. So your final starting weapon is actually going to be a grenade. It's going to be a smoke grenade. So what the smoke grenade does is it puts out obviously a big cloud of smoke, and it also stuns or makes people cringe nearby. If these bots ignore me, which they are, I can go ahead and demonstrate this. So you can hold a left trigger and it'll give you kind of like this arch of where the grenade is going to bounce and land. So you can kind of, you know, aim it and throw it far, or you can just throw it blindly. So I'm just going to throw it blindly at this wall and show you guys the cringe that happens when you throw a smoke grenade and are standing in it. So you see my character's cringed, I can't shoot, and now I'm good. It only lasts like a second or two, but it can be pretty influential in a fight. If you throw the smoke grenade, land it at your opponent's feet, they go to fight you, they can't do anything about it because they're too busy covering their face. So those are going to be your 4 starting weapons in Gears of War 4. Alright, so now we're going to talk about the heads-up display in Gears of War 4. In the upper right-hand corner, you are going to see a silhouette of whatever gun you currently have out. So as you can see, I have the Lancer. If I switch to the shotgun or the pistol or the smoke, the picture of the gun will change, as well as the ammo count directly below it. As you shoot your gun, you can see that the ammo count goes down, the number and the meter. And here's the interesting part, the unique part to Gears of War. The little white dot that is to the right of your ammo count is whether or not you can catch an active reload. So when you reload your gun, there can be multiple results. Your first result is that you will reload your gun for the full duration and you'll be out of combat for that full second. Your second option is when you reload, you can jam, which will make you be out of combat even longer as you gotta fix the jam on your gun.
No coming back from that.
You can also catch what is called a perfect reload, where you get it in that grayish area like I did right there when the meter comes up. Now all I'm doing is when the reload happens, your right bumper, this part of your controller, you have to get it in that gray area, you'll reload quicker, that's it. Now the final thing that can happen is you can get it in that white dot that you see right there at the beginning of the gray area. If you can land your moving meter that you see going across in that white dot, you will actually catch an active reload, which will increase the damage of your gun for a temporary amount of time. So I'm going to show you that real quick. Here's what the Lancer looks like just shooting it on the ground. And then if I catch an active reload, you can see that the bullet holes now have like a little bit of a blue effect to them. And as soon as that goes away, so does the blue effect. Now you can tell when you have an active reload as well in the upper right hand corner as the ammo will be blinking. And you can only catch an active when that little white dot is full. So if I catch an active right here, I can't catch another active. And it actually takes away the active that I previously had. These bots are really annoying. Side note, Coalition, please add a patch where I can only, where I can make it so only one bot is in the match with me, not fill with bots. So this is true for all your guns, and the active pattern changes a little bit for all your guns. So as you can see with my shotgun, that's how big the gray area is. When I switch to my Lancer, that gray area is a little bit bigger. And when I switch to my pistol, it's about the same as the Lancer. Some guns, the little white area to catch an active is on the other side of that gray area, and sometimes it can just be really difficult or really small to land. The meter moves at different rates, so it's kind of something that you have to get used to for every gun. In the upper left-hand corner, being that this is a team deathmatch game, you will see the scores of the two teams. In the blue column, or the blue circle rather, you will see the number of lives that the cog or the humans have left, and in the red you'll see the number of lives that the swarm and DBs have left. As people get killed, as we just see in the kill feed right there, those numbers will change as they respawn, and that's how you keep track of score. The same thing happens in escalation, where the score, the number of points that the teams have, will be in the upper left-hand corner, and the hills that the teams have captured will be in that corner as well. In the bottom left, as you see kind of coming up every now and then, that is your kill feed. So if I shoot and down this guy, maybe, you will see in the bottom left that he got downed with that little arrow, and then I just executed him by shooting him in the head. Whereas with that one, I just shot him with a shotgun, and now it's going to show me getting chainsawed in the center of my screen. So it shows you what weapon the people were killed with, or an icon to indicate what, like, how they were killed, whether it be a headshot or not. There's also unique executions and stuff that can change that. Alright, I'm trying to do this at the same time that I'm playing and killing these annoying ass bugs. So that's going to be where your general kill feed happens, and you can kind of keep track of how the round is going for different teams down there. Sometimes it can get a little hectic when a lot of kills are happening at once, but for the most part, it's pretty self-explanatory, pretty straightforward, and similar to other games. Now I want to show you really quickly as an add-on to this, when there is a weapon on the map, this is called a power weapon. So this is the long shot, the sniper rifle. And when I pick that up, I can switch it for one of two guns, either my Lancer or my shotgun. I cannot put it in place of my pistol. The only things that can go in place of your pistol are other pistol-like guns like the Boltok. And the only thing that can go in place of grenades are other grenades. So in order to pick up the sniper, you'll see that I stand over top of it and I have the heads-up display to hold X to pick it up. And when I do so, now I have the sniper in my hand. It automatically applies the camo that I have selected previously in my customization menu of Gears of War 4, which you can see is a pinkish camo because it's the only one that I have that has color. And then in the upper right-hand corner, you can see that the silhouette of the sniper is there. And when I move my thumb around the D-pad, there is now a sniper. You can see the ammo count, everything. I can shoot it, and I can catch an active. So that is how that works. The next feature I want to talk about is the TACCOM, which you will see competitive players use actually a lot. And what that is when you press the left bumper button on your controller, it makes your screen kind of go this fuzzy gray, and you can see the outlines of my teammates over there. As soon as I'm not getting shot, you can see the outlines of my teammates over there. So it lets you know where your teammates are. It also changes the upper left-hand corner and shows you who is alive currently. So if that swarm dies, you can see he disappears, and then when he's respawning, it'll have the kind of countdown going over his face until he respawns, which will be now. So if you hold the back button, you bring up a scoreboard, which you can see the kills, downs, revives, deaths, and actual score of each player. And then the general rules of the game. It takes 2 rounds to win, what the game type is, what the map is, how much time is left on the round, so on and so forth. While holding the back button, if you press B, you bring up the overhead map, and you can actually see the dots of the different teammates that I have, the blue dots with the arrows on them, and you can see the locations of the power weapons as well as the 2 spawns for the teams. When you're playing a match, you will not see the other team. If you are spectating a match, however, you will be able to see the dots of the other team. Now, something new has been added to our overhead display. In the upper middle of the display, you can see a timer counting down. That is the timer to call the end of the round. So when that timer goes down to 0, the round ends, even though we haven't completely eliminated the other team, because there is a time limit to this particular game time. On this screen, you can see the round 1 with the little X on it because, you know, we had the winning score, and then the scoreboard again, and then we get ready to load into the next round with a countdown. All right, so now I'm going to show you some movement in the game that's pretty common that you guys will be seeing a lot. So one of the first movement styles is strafing, which is moving side to side and kind of changing up the pattern of which you move. So as you're moving side to side, you're shooting your shotgun or your lancer or whatever. This kind of makes you a moving target. This is common in all game types. All video games that are FPS shooter type games. So this is something that most people are familiar with, and it also is in Gears of War. The other movement that you will see actually a lot more is something that we call wall bouncing. So in Gears of War, there's a cover mechanic where you can slide to cover. Like so. You can see me sliding to cover, sliding to cover, sliding to cover. So when you wall bounce, you're actually bouncing back and forth between walls like this. And it's making you harder to hit because you're abusing that cover mechanic. Now in Gears of War 4, there's actually a wall cancel to your wall bounce. So in previous games, you actually could not do this. Not all. So in Gears of War 4, there's actually a wall cancel, which allows you to, as you're sliding to a wall, you know, you will hit it, but you can pull off and stop by pulling down on the movement joystick. So you can cancel it pretty quickly. So you'll see a lot of people just kind of bounce back and forth without actually hitting walls because it makes the movement a little bit quicker. I just got meleeed and I was a step up from him. So that's kind of how the movement works. You'll see a mixture of wall bouncing and strafing. There's these little semi-run jukes that you can do. When you hold down the A button, you roadie run. So as you do these little jukes, you'll see people kind of throw that into the mixture of their movement. So really quickly, I want to talk about some key terminology that we went over in this video before I end it. We talked about wall bouncing, which is the movement and abusement of the cover system in Gears of War, where you slide from cover to cover, and wall canceling, which is where you cancel your slide towards the cover to kind of shorten your movements and make yourself less predictable. We talked about strafing, which is moving from side to side. This applies to multiple FPS games, so this isn't quite unique to Gears of War, but it is still something that you might hear casters or streamers or players say. We talked about active reloads, which is where you actually hit a reload so perfectly that it increases your damage that your gun has, and it is the most efficient reload timing of your gun, so it'll reload your gun the absolute fastest that you can. We talked about marking opponents, which is where you look at an opponent and then you press down on your right joystick, which will silhouette them and show your teammates where that person is. Competitive players use this a lot to show what player on the other team that they're shooting at, so that you can kind of focus fire on that one person. These are going to be the key things for this video. I'm going to cut this video here and end it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and you guys found this interesting and that you learned from it. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a thumbs up and let me know in the comments down below what are some things or questions that you have about Gears of War, so that I can be sure to answer them in some future videos. This series is going to continue to go all the way into advanced techniques and strategies, so I hope that you guys are really going to enjoy this. It's going to, you know, obviously the title is going to change. Gears of War 4 Intermediate, Gears of War 4 Expert kind of thing. But I plan on doing a lot of videos of this series because I want you guys to be invested and interested in Gears of War 4 just like we are as competitors. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click subscribe down below if you don't already do so. I really appreciate the support you guys are giving me. I hit 1,600 followers or subscribers the other day. Amazing. So thank you so much to you guys out there who are loving the videos, liking the videos, watching the videos, and subscribing to my channel. To all of you who are active in the comments, please know that I watch every single one, and I look forward to getting your feedback and continuing to grow as a YouTuber. And I will see you all after this long intro, or this long closing intro, in the next video.
Go.